Hello, everyone. I'm Adam with Demiplane. Thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. You can start asking those questions right away. So all you have to do is type question into Twitch chat, follow that by the question itself, and I will get to as many as I possibly can in the time that we have today. I do have a hard stop at the half hour, so I'm going to try to fly through this as quickly as possible, and I'm going to have to jump off. If I end up missing any questions, that's okay. I will try to save them for next week and try to get to them next week. All right, jumping in. Oh, as always, working on latest updates, what we're currently working on. So, really, what's on our plate right now is what we'll talk about first. Then we are going to give away a Pathfinder rulebooks bundle today. So, this is just an incredible set of content. So the way that Pathfinder works is there are different types of products, and the rule books are going to include the core rule book, the advanced player's guide, secrets of magic. These are all very character option focused books. They introduce new systems into the game, so that's what we're giving away today. And another type of Pathfinder content is Lost Omens or setting content, and we'll be giving away some of those Lost Omens bundles in the future as well. Always giving away something different here each week, so be sure to check back in with us there, and you could be a lucky winner. So good luck on the Pathfinder Rulebooks bundle today, and then upcoming. So that is what is on deck. So really, what that means is it is our current target for what we are working on next after the things that are currently on the plate have been removed. And so once we get done with the things that we're currently working on, the on deck status for upcoming is what is next. And sometimes that is what's next, a little bit further out. Sometimes that is what's next, 3 days from now. But it's just what is currently targeted for that next kind of phase of development. And as I said, you can ask me questions, so please do so starting now. All right, this is a big one. It is here. What so many of you have been asking for. This has been a litany of PayPal, PayPal, PayPal. Since for over a year at this point, and so we did stop. Some of the development on the character tools. We diverted someone to say, "Hey, so many people are asking for PayPal. We are going to make sure that we are covering PayPal payments." And hey, I understand with PayPal's pay later option, when you're looking at the prospect of bringing in, 65 Pathfinder books all at one time, the cost is pretty large. That pay later option is a really good option. So PayPal is available now, and you can use that when you're checking out. That also means that our payment provider that we use for credit and debit, it is not available. And honestly, this goes for really any payment provider out there that we could be using. That it means that there isn't coverage in 100% of the countries across the world. And so we've gotten that question a few times of, hey, my country's not in this drop down list. PayPal is something that definitely is possible to get to everywhere. So this also should open the door for you to be able to make purchases regardless of where you are on this bright, shining blue globe that we are all spinning around on. All right, let's jump into latest updates. So at the platform level, we are live with federated login or social login. This is where you can use your Google account, your Facebook account, Twitch account to log into Demiplane. You can still log in via your native Demiplane credentials as well, but you can connect all of those things. This is, of course, just a very convenient thing in our modern internet world, and we have that live now. If you have any issues with it, conversion is always the hardest part of this. Once the conversion happens, then signing in is a very, very easy thing. But if you have any issues, definitely hit our support team. We are happy to help. We will get you, cleared up straight away. As I mentioned, the PayPal payments, those went live yesterday as well. For Pathfinder Nexus Early Access, Gatewalkers #2 is coming this month. We also have a big release with Treasure Vault. So we're working on that right now. Really, really great content. You can pre-order that today. It's going to be a good one. I love books like this across the decades that I've been playing these games. I always like the books that have stuff in them. And so, like, this is a book that has a lot of stuff in it. And it's always, that's one of the parts of making characters and playing characters that I really enjoy is kind of optimizing gear and items and equipment. And so, Treasure Vault is going to be really, really good. Good book. I love it, and I think you will too if you're into that sort of thing. On the back catalog front, Agents of Edgewatch is the adventure path that we are working on in between some of the other things that are kind of taking our focus, but it is in progress. We're making progress, kind of small progress in between things. And then on the character tools closed alpha, we have been working on spells, and we do expect spells to go in their initial state this week. And so I won't say today, but we're getting very, very close to that. So there might not be a release today, but we are feeling very confident that the initial pass for spells and managing spells is going to go in this week. So that is a big, big rock we've been working on. So excited to get that out and get that into testing where we can start to make sure that we polish it and make everything as stable as we need it to be as we head toward the open beta. The the builder and sheet also, yesterday in our release, there was another big performance update that went out. So this is not the end of performance tweaks, but this was a pretty major back end overhaul of how I've talked to you before about our engine system and the way that these engines kind of power everything that you're seeing in the builder and sheet. And this was an overhaul where instead of loading all the engines at one time, we are loading them just in time. So we were only loading them when you need them, and it has made a dramatic improvement in performance. These are all things that, of course, we targeted from the beginning of all this. It's just something that we have not been able to focus on. As we're getting further down the road here, we're going to continue to make these kinds of updates, and you're going to open things up. And if you've opened it in the last day or so, you're probably like, wow, that was way faster. We hope that that's what you're seeing anyway. That's what you should be seeing. We're going to continue to tweak that and get it to launch readiness as we get closer and closer to the open beta. On the Vampire Nexus and Avatar Legends Nexus, so we have started work also kind of in parallel with Vampire Nexus and Avatar Legends Nexus. The great thing is that all of the work that we are doing for the character tools for Pathfinder, it is applicable work to all the other games that we're going to support with character tools. The entire point of what we're doing here is this is a platform. This is a platform that all of these games can be supported by. And so, in parallel with Vampire and Avatar Legends, we are getting all of the kind of groundwork laid for when the time comes for us to shift some focus over into building out the screens and what you're going to actually end up seeing when it comes to Vampire or Avatar Legends. Those are things that we are prepping for. And as we get to the right point with Pathfinder, where those parts of the team that are working on those aspects can start moving on to these other games, it will then allow the people that are working in engines and the content for Pathfinder to continue to polish things and get things ready for Pathfinder while we're able to start work on these other couple of games. So if you're keeping score at home out there, then that does mean that our first character tools that you're going to see are Pathfinder naturally, and Vampire and Avatar Legends. And we are covering of course, some free league games. There are some games that we haven't announced yet. There's a Nexus that we will announce probably next week, I think. A Nexus, a whole new Nexus that's going on. So all of that work is continuing. We're continuing to staff and build the team in a way that we can start to bring that support to life for all of these amazing games. On the Alien RPG Nexus front, Destroyer of Worlds, we do expect to get that. That's basically in final review, which is me going through and looking at it, making sure things aren't broken. So I am getting to that in the next day or two, and we should be submitting that to Free League this week. And depending on that review, hope that we have some news to share with you, potentially next week, depending on how that review goes. But Destroyer of Worlds is going to be available soon. All right, giveaway time. So, giveaway type hashtag epic loot if you haven't done so already. I'm sure that that is already circulating in chat. And so, as that is going on, good luck to you. This is a Pathfinder rule books bundle. This is a great value. Good luck. I hope all of you win. It doesn't work that way, but I hope you do. Upcoming Pathfinder tool closed alpha. The release targets, as we talked about, that's gotten a little bit fuzzy these last couple of weeks because, as I explained last time, we're working on some really big rocks with spells. But we, are trying to release on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If something's just not at all ready for prime time on one of those, then we will definitely skip and go to the next. But that is the internal target that we're working with, and it is helping us to really get some traction. We've come a long way in a pretty short amount of time in this alpha. And again, that a lot of that's due to your participation, your help. We appreciate that, but also the team is really moving along here. So, as I've explained before, the fixes are going to be prioritized over features. We had several fixes that we've been having to do. We're going to continue to keep our eyes out as you catch bugs out there. We're going to pop those into the queue and we're going to work those, first. But spells management is very, very close to coming out, at least in its initial form. New book coverage is going to continue. The team is very close on getting the report yesterday was actions for the Lost Omens content, for instance. And so getting very, very close to getting new categories of content added into what's going on in closed alpha. We've got companions and familiars. We've got shield mechanics. So those are going to be, polished up soon. I think actually after spells, shield mechanics are kind of some low-hanging fruit that we're going to jump into. We have formulas for alchemy that are going to be introduced and on the list. Definitely mobile and tablet views. So we're looking forward to this one. We've gotten everything. The testing that we've been doing in the alpha so far has been really, really educational to us as to far as what types of screens people are trying to look at this in. We understand that can be skewed because we told you not to look at it in mobile or tablet, but we also know that not everyone is gets down to the bottom of reading everything as you go through there. So we've had several people trying to access this on tablet or on their phones and even on desktop in some laptop, like kind of crunched laptop views. All of that's really helpful for us to understand where the breakpoints need to be for how things need to essentially fold up as some of these really complicated layouts are then becoming super, super small. And so we've got a really good handle on how that's going to come together now, and we're going to be putting that in place before too much longer. Homebrew is a big one here. It's important to note that the first pass of homebrew is going to be something that is more akin to being able to make smaller edits in the sheet. And so you're going to be able to go to an item that is a flame tongue type sword, and you're going to be able to name that Mr. Burn to a Crisp or whatever you want to do it. So you can change names, those kind of things. But also you can change some of the bonuses and everything associated with that equipment. And so it's going to be kind of a homebrew light that's going to be there kind of initially, and then the full system will be something that we are working on to make that not only something that's going to work for characters on the sheet, but also for creators out there that want to put together great things and share those with people out there. So that full system is coming, and then we have currency management that's currently not on the sheet. All of those things are on the list. This is a pretty comprehensive, at least high level comprehensive list on what is going to be included as we get to that milestone of open beta. Now, that also means that everything that's currently out there that doesn't work is going to work by open beta. So there are things out there that don't load options properly or whatever. Those are all things that we're working through. But this is a pretty good hit list for what we have going on between now and open beta. On the game content side, Lost Omens Firebrands and Rage of Elements. Can't wait for those. Vampire Children of the Blood. We also had the Player's Guide that was talked about a little bit this weekend at Renegade Con, and that is something that keep your eye out for a pre-order on that soon. It also is a book of how to build and create characters, and so as you can imagine, this should be a really, really good product for what we are putting together here with Vampire Nexus. So we're really excited about that one as it is coming along. And then Alien RPG, Heart of Darkness, Chariot of the Gods. We will be caught up with content at that point, and we expect that to happen the first part of this year. And then we'll be ready for the next thing that's going to come out for Alien that we're also really excited about. All right. I think that is. Oh, one more thing we will talk about. So this evening, we do not have our normal Children of Erte episode, so this is not going to be a campaign episode tonight. It will be our monthly after show that we call very cleverly On the Erte, like on the air, monthly after show tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific. And this month's guests, we're doing a twofer here. We've got Hope and Lauren tonight, and I can't wait to see what they are all going to talk about. So I hope you can tune into that too. Wonderful, wonderful people involved in the whole show. Wonderful people that are going to be here on this after show this evening. All right, let's jump into questions. Let's see what we've got. Got several of them coming through. I am going to, whoops, I didn't mean to choose that one, but I guess I'll give you a freebie. That was my test question earlier. And definitely Leo, by the way. Leonardo is definitely the favorite Ninja Turtle. But honestly, I think that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are fantastic. They're really good if you play tabletop role-playing games too, because they are this super, super great party of characters that are working together. They're all very, very different, but they all are united by a common thread. So the Ninja Turtles are a great, great thing to go through, and I appreciate all four of them so much. But if I had to choose, I'm probably going Leonardo. All right, Successful Geek, any ETA on PayPal for payments? I think I already covered that one a little bit earlier. It is in and it is ready to go. So engage. All right, let's see. Mergon, I purchased the recent Humble Bundle for Pathfinder 2. Is it eligible for Demiplane? Demiplane does not have anything directly in the Humble Bundle. However, if you connect your Demiplane Pathfinder Nexus account to your Paizo.com account, for those PDFs that you own on Paizo.com, you will get a deep discount on the Pathfinder Nexus version of that. So if you make that connection through Paizo Connect, you will be able to get credit for those PDFs to apply a discount to anything that you would purchase on Pathfinder Nexus. Anchor 89, any word on Black Flag, the other orc systems joining Demiplane in the next year? If you can't say who, can you tell us how many different systems are in the work for the coming year? All right, a few questions there. So starting with Black Flag, so what I can say is that we are going to be, as you probably saw the news last week, we are going to be supporting, the output of Black Flag, whatever that ends up looking like, because they've explained that it is a working title, for that eventual game that's coming together. I kind of like it if they just stuck with the working title. I'd be totally fine with that. But we will be supporting it here on Demiplane. That's about all I can say at this point, because as you can imagine, in the rapidly evolving landscape of everything that's gone on in post bad decisions and the wake of all of that, we've got essentially a situation where timing on announcements is kind of all over the place. So this was one where Kobo Press needed to move with an announcement. We wanted to make it really clear that we were, that we have signed them as a partner and that we are going to be working with them, going forward. But we don't have all of the details ready to share quite yet on exactly what that's going to look like, what that's going to mean. But I can tell you that I think all of that's going to become much, much clearer here really, really soon. Exactly what that's going to mean and how that's going to work. And so we definitely, I love Orc and everything's coming out of that. The concepts behind it anyway. Naturally, I haven't seen a finished Orc license yet because it doesn't exist. But the concepts about open gaming and making sure that everything is open for people to be able to create with these systems and within these games ecosystems is a really, really important thing. And so Demiplane at the conceptual level is very aligned with that. I can tell you, I can't say who yet, but let me think about this last question. Tell how many different systems. So if we're talking about systems that system is a little misleading there because, for instance, year zero system or year zero engine is what I would say is a system. And, if we add another year zero game, for instance, are you counting that as a system? So I will define this as, new nexuses is maybe the way that I'll put that out there. And I imagine that we will see 3 or 4 new nexuses this year in addition to what we have already out there. And that's probably still not quite getting to our full list of people that we've partnered with or in the process of partnering with. So many, many things coming down the pipeline, and we're excited to share more about that soon. Lucky Charm Quark, would you give me a color scheme for a player's mini? Anthropomorphic Pigeon Druid. I'm painting tonight. They never told me what they want. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. It's gonna have to be. I don't know. It's hard without me seeing the miniature, but I am definitely going to say that I am a big, big fan of orange and blue. That's what I will say. I'm a big, big fan of orange and blue. And so, without seeing anything else, I'm probably always going to say orange and blue. Like if I'm creating a team in a sports video game, their team colors are going to be orange and blue, which is a little ironic. I didn't want to say I live in Huntsville, Alabama. I am an Alabama Crimson Tide football fan, and the most bitter rival is the Auburn War Eagles, and Auburn has orange and blue as their colors. And so I wear a lot of orange and blue, and people rag me about that all the time. But they're just wonderful colors. So there you go, orange and blue. That's what I'm going to go with. Feel free to share, your finished product with me, though. I would love to see it. I always love seeing painted miniatures. Anchor 89, beginner's box for Pathfinder 2E. Any plans for Q1 or Q2? You time boxed me there, so I don't necessarily like that part. But uh, we don't quite know yet. We have most of the rules that are available in that beginner's box in a slightly different form in the Pathfinder primer, for instance. But if you're talking about the adventure, the Otari adventure, that is something that we are looking into getting. Part of the problem with that one is, just how to price it in the most fair way that we can price it, given that it is a part of a box set that obviously carries on a different cost. So we're working through all that. It is something that's on the list and something that we are going to get to. Cato Flex, hi Adam, what's your favorite Pathfinder 2e spell? This isn't even a contest. This has been my favorite spell since the first time I read the core rulebook. It is Dinosaur Form. Not even close on anything else. I mean, I like several other spells. I'm pretty partial to the Demiplane spell, for instance. But yeah, Dinosaur Form is it by miles. The art of Dinosaur Form is I'm actually in the process of trying to get a print made for museum office in here. I like it so much. So Dinosaur Forum without any question. Successful Geek. What is your favorite Pathfinder 2e actual play on YouTube? I'm going to cheat a little bit here and say that the one that I am editing right now, that is not quite out yet, called The Claw Firm. We've got an incredible cast that has come together. I'm about 3 episodes deep into editing it. We are working with Sirenscape to bring about, really, really awesome sound accompaniment to everything that we're working on with this show. But there's going to be more details about that. I would say, I would say we're probably going to get more details this month on that show. But so far, it has been my favorite. But again, that's maybe cheating because, I was involved in putting together the cast for this, and so we'll share more details about that soon, but really love it. But I also, definitely fans of the Glass Cannon Network and a lot of the things that they are doing there. And I actually am a big fan of what Paizo themselves has put out, the variety of things that they've done for their adventure paths that they've done, because they have so many great cast members that are kind of recurring in that, and I've loved all of those as well. We actually have some of those cast members on the Claw Firm, so again, more details about that soon. But that's going to be my answer for now. I can't wait for you to see it. Milestone 20. Any plans to support Paizo 5e releases such as Kingmaker, Bestiary? Yeah, to be determined. To be determined. No clear answer for that yet, but we will see how that goes. I think it makes some sense, so we'll see. Anchor 89. Any dates for? No dates yet, but it's going to be the first. I will say it's going to be the first half of this year at least. So we'll share more soon. Neural answer. Will there be character tool options filtering by book? Can I just have my players with whom I shared my books just be able to choose options from the books I want? Will I be able to restrict stuff, character options, spells, etc. by rarity? To answer the question directly, yes, you will be able to do that. To take the longer way around, it's not on the short-term roadmap for you to be able to do that at this time. So, for instance, you're not going to have those options before open beta when we publicly release this. What I observed in the past life of working on digital tools like this, that level of granularity did not carry a whole lot of demand behind it. And so that is something that, now that I've said that, we may have thousands of people come out of the woodwork and tell me that no, that is wrong. And that's great, because if we get that kind of feedback, then that's going to help us make those prioritization decisions. But what we have typically seen in the past is, just like if we were in person and, we were sharing books at a table, the game master can say, hey, no, nothing from this book or whatever it is. We treat that, at least in the short term, as a table stakes type situation where you can work that out, with your game master within your group. But having said all of that, I'm talking short term. It is something that, from a content sharing perspective, we do plan to add more granularity over time as an option there. Absolutely plan to share that over time. It's just not on the short term horizon. Ook Haiku. Least favorite dinosaur. Wow. I'm just moving on. Milestone 20. Can you expand on the Demiplane support for Black Flag? Can't expand on that too much yet, but check back in with me next week. K Malsum, will there be an annual option on the membership? Yes, definitely something that's on the list. Can't tell you how short term that is, but it is on the list and something that we want to do. So the intent is to provide that option at some point in the future, as soon as we can get to it. All right, I'm running out of time. Successful Geek, how do you guys always do such amazing work? I don't even know sometimes. We've got a fantastic team, wonderful, wonderful people. Artemis Themp, what is your favorite Pathfinder 2E ancestry and heritage? Wow, man, these hard questions. I am a big fan of dwarves in any game that I play. But I have to say, in Pathfinder, Pathfinder nailed goblins. Goblins are Pathfinder is the most iconic goblin I've ever seen, and this includes, all the way back to my World of Warcraft days. And I loved goblins in World of Warcraft. Right, Pathfinder does goblins the best, and I love some Iron Gut goblins. So that's probably what I'm sticking with at least this week. That would be my answer. Dungeoneer, did you ever read the original black and white Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? My favorite issue is number 6. Yes, read all of it. I'm actually in the middle of a reread on all of the IDW run, which has also been fantastic. But yes, huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans. And Roll Tide, Successful Geek. You're right. I got just a few more. I'm gonna go through them quickly. Lothos, with all these systems you're supporting or going to be supporting, are you going to be stretching yourselves too thin, especially with the character tools? It's a very excellent question, and the way that I can answer that is no. We're not going to be stretching ourselves too thin, and this is because now it means that just like with anything, as we sign things, we have a dance card, if you will, and that dance card fills up, and then we add others to the dance card, as that's going forward. So we definitely have a pipeline, but the entire reason that even quote Pathfinder has taken this long, unquote, is we have not just been working on Pathfinder. So that is a really, really key point here, is that we have been making a platform, and the platform is flexible and powerful. And these many months that we've been spending on this, if all we were doing was making a Pathfinder 2E character builder and digital character sheet, we would have been done already. Like, there's no other way to put that. We would have been done already. We would have this out, people would be using it. But when we saw early on in the course of Demiplane, as we started here, we thought that we might sign a couple of partners, and we instead signed 8 or 10 partners pretty quickly. And as that happened, we understood that we needed to take the time to build this in a way that it would have that flexibility and it would have that power. And so the short answer is no. We're not concerned about stretching too thin, because once the platform is in place, and see, that's the struggle right now, is we've been in a deep dark tunnel trying to get toward the light and getting it in place in the first place. But once we get to a point where we're in open beta for Pathfinder, this means that we're in a place where we're feeling very good about the foundations of the platform, and then we're going to be able to it's not going to be a matter of months to bring a new game to life with character tools. We will be talking in units of weeks at that point. And so that has been everything that we're doing kind of hinges on that. So I do want to very transparently throw that out there, that we're not concerned about that. Now, are we ever going to be able to move as fast as we all, including ourselves, want? Of course not. This software development, it never happens as fast as any of us want. But it is not. Again, this is not going to be a months long process when we go to start focusing on a new game. It's going to be something that we're going to get down to weeks. Put it in a little bit more perspective, and I'm late. My wife's going to be mad at me. But one of the things that I will also say is even spinning up a Nexus in the first place. So getting the digital reader ready, getting the listings, game compendium, primers, all of those things ready to go. That process initially took us, 4 to 6 months to develop everything for the platform. The second time we did it, it took, maybe 6 weeks or so. We've gotten that process down to where we can do it in basically less than a week. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about the content, because if we bring on a game that has 20 books, we might not have all the books. But getting the Nexus itself up is a process that we could, if we were really pressing, do it in a week. And so that's just an example of us building a platform that then is scalable to the other kinds of things. We're taking that same approach with the character tools. Great question. Appreciate you letting me wax poetical about it. Elf Tarot, you like Dinosaur Form. What's your opinion on Dinosaur Fort? Very inside joke. I love that. Uh, love talking with Eric Mona about that when we had early meetings with them too. K Malsum, any thoughts about supporting the Creative Commons D&D SRD? Check back in with me next week. Storm Knight UK, hey, I know you. Left field question: what's your favorite part of your job these days? The highlight of your day? Honestly, the highlight of my day is working with wonderful people. It really is. I mean, like this is an incredible job for a variety of reasons, but the highlight is working with the people on my team. Love it, love it, love it. Thanks for that question. Last question. I made it all the way to the end. Rafe Moody is limiting search options to specific sources and not just Demiplane. Coming soon. I don't know if I know 100% what you mean there. I can tell you, though, that search in general across Demiplane is an early access feature that is not at all finished. So we have chosen to back burner that a little bit until we get character tools in place, because many of the enhancements to search are going to incorporate what's going on with characters as well. And so we're kind of, we've got that waiting a little bit longer. But as we start to get into open beta with the character tools for Pathfinder, that is where we will start spending some more focus on search. And search is going to be an essential, vital tool. Right now, it is not hitting the mark. But again, it's in early access. We are definitely going to do a lot more with search. And so I might not be understanding exactly what you mean by what this question is saying, but I can say that there is a good chance that we will be addressing that as we circle back to search. All right, I got to get out of here. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate all the questions and all the engagement today. Join us for On the Airtay tonight. It's going to be a great show, and we'll see you back here next week. Later, Gators.